try to better yourself after. I don't know. I'm glad he did it. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad. I think that's amazing. But you should have did that and then maybe try to be on the season after that.
Right. Because, yeah, he should have. I mean, I guess you're right. He did kind of put the signs out there, but at the same time, you can put the signs out there, but then when you make comments like AD makes me better, or she calls out stuff that I didn't know was an issue, or when I do blah blah, she calls it out. You're basically trying to hint that she's making you a better person. So that's where I kind of felt like the connection might have been that she's not afraid to call him out on his mess.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then he came to the wedding. Like, I would be upset. And I know what you're saying because it is Love is Blind. Y'all don't know each other like that. But I just feel like you're kind of leading somebody on. We meet the parents, we do all that. I'm spending time with your people and blah, blah. And you get to this wedding and you're like, yeah, it just ain't for me right now because, I got a lot of stuff I got to work out with my daddy and this and blah, blah. I'm sorry, he wouldn't be able to talk to me. If I left the way she did, he wouldn't be allowed in my room. I'd be like,
I
like, go talk to your
you're
dad.
right. AD did amazing because I probably would have threw some stuff at your head because why would you let me get all the way down here? Like, oh my gosh. I think it was that on top of the fact that she had already answered. Like,
Mhm,
if he went first and said no, then it would have been like, oh, what would she have said? The world may never really know. But
mhm.
she went first and oh yeah, I would have threw something at you for sure. And don't talk to me like today, tomorrow, next week.
Uh-huh.
I would might have some people try to. No, I'm kidding. But like, no, for like that's not
So we
cool.
gonna
Like,
bring the mob up in here.
I would have been so upset. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would have been, but like, yep, like I said, she handled it like a pro because he could have done better with that. Because I feel like if you love somebody like you say you do, you don't put nobody through that. That's like you embarrass her in front of her family and on TV.
Well, he said on his wedding day he wasn't deeply in love, which is interesting because then on the reunion he said she was the love of his life. So I don't know what changed between the wedding day and the reunion, but I mean maybe he didn't. Not I'm not saying he wanted to embarrass her, but maybe he just wasn't that deeply invested where it was like I cannot do this to you.
But like, if you knew that prior, why not just take her in a room and be like, "Look, so I don't. I just feel like we should not get married today."
I feel like because at that point you might as well no I don't know but I remember AD being verbal about if it's not now it's never basically like don't think after this I'm gonna continue to date you like
Mhm.
you need to say yes at the altar or it's over.
Mhm.
So I don't know, maybe he felt like if I say it before I'm gonna lose her, so or maybe like what he said he was truly contemplating it up until like the last second.
Well, I mean, I guess so, but I just kind of feel like he already knew. I think that was an excuse he came up with for why he did it. But I told y'all Clay he gives me red flags. I don't like that he like blew up over going on a Love is Blind show because she's talking to somebody else when that's the whole purpose of the beginning of the show.
That is true. He really did like that. I was like, whoa, whoa there. Why you so mad? Because she complaining about, a bad date that she had whenever y'all both are dating other people. Calm
Mhm.
down. I didn't
Mhm.
think that was definitely a red flag. But I also feel like her going on dates with Matthew after her and Clay didn't work out was
Right.
weird. Like, why would you do that?
And tell him about it. Like, hey Clay, guess what? You remember Matthew? So I went on dates with him. He
That's why
also
I'm
gives
like,
me crazy vibes.
something was something. And maybe they just friends, but I just feel like that's weird because Why the freak would you tell him? Like, if I'm not with you, then that's not your business, really. So
Mhm.
I'm like, were you trying to like make him feel a type of way? He looked very uncomfortable on that couch when she was talking about it.
He,
Like,
he did. I told my sister was he squeezing his stomach in that caused the shoulders to be all jacked up? But he did look mad uncomfortable.
I was like, good. And she kept looking at him. I'm like, are you looking for a reaction? Like that whole little segment was weird. Like it was just
It was because every time she looked at him, he was like, "What you looking at me for?"
like.
You did it. But
But then he looked mad uncomfortable, and people were
mhm.
just staring, and he was blinking so fast, and I was like, "Is he all right?" Like,
Of course he's not. She up there with Matthew. Like who go out with some I don't know, something wrong, AD. I would not go out with Matthew. If he can tell a chick the same story, uh-uh.
yeah.
And a
He
whole
told her the same thing and left the pods because she left.
mm-hmm.
How's he? I would bet. I almost think that's very similar. Well, except y'all wasn't engaged. Chuck Clay leaving you at the altar. He said, no,
Mm-hmm.
the altar. Matthew left you in the pods for somebody else. It's the same, not same, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a
Yeah.
comparable experience.
Mm-hmm.
Why he get a second shot?
Cause she, like you said, she was probably trying to get a reaction out of Clay. She was like, well, you about to be missing out on something good. Cause guess what? I linked back up with Matthew. Matthew give me crazy vibes too.
Yeah, he does.
I was like, he just remind me of somebody who got something in his basement that I ain't trying to see. Have you locked up down there?
Yeah, it was him. Like, I thought he didn't, well, they made it seem as though he didn't bond with a lot of people. And
Mm-hmm.
then for him to be like pulling the joint he did with like telling them very similar things, I was like, oh, something is up with you, something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
And
He,
honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't have came to that freaking reunion either. Cause y'all saw what they did to Wreck-It Ralph, Trevor. Freak no, you ain't
mhm.
gonna. And SarahAnn, y'all not gonna bully me on this stage.
Did you just call that man Wreck-It Ralph?
That's what they was calling him online. He do kind of look it though.
He does. That's why it's funny. Oh my goodness. I ain't even thought about that one. That is funny. Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been there either. If I was SarahAnn is the best one for coming. They would have had. I mean, I wonder if they paid her a good bit because I wouldn't have came either, knowing that them girls was gonna come at you the way they did because they did the same thing at the late day. I
Mhm.
wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, especially they're probably more pressed that you rode off into the ocean
Right.
with them. So,
On them jet skis.
but she's crazy. Like for me, if I was Sarah Ann, I would be interrupting all those girls because when AD situation came up, I would have interrupted. Like, yeah, if you were more focused on that, you probably would have known Clay was gonna say no instead of all up in my business.
I just feel like, girl, they. I mean, I'm here for you being in support of your friend or whatnot, but you're not gonna catch me because at the end of the day, just like I believe they referenced in their conversation at some point,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy is the one that owed Laura that loyalty. He
Mm-hmm.
got down and proposed to her. Don't nobody need to be talking to Sarah Ann about nothing because if he didn't entertain that or give it the time of day or feel the need to have a conversation with her at that bar, then none of that junk would have happened.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I feel like they should have left her. Like, if you want to not be cool with her, like, oh, I don't really like how she, whatever the free. So, like, I'm just keep it cute and cordial and not really be your friend. That's cool. But they was like, it just felt like they were just being mean girls.
They were, because for me, I wouldn't feel that strongly, especially giving them like I get there's some people that can connect quicker.
Hmm.
If I was one of those girls, if I'm willing to like be cool with Jess, I'm going to be cool with Sarah Ann as well. Because I just feel like y'all all been hypocrites trying to act like she's different because y'all like Jess. But Jess, no. She should get that same energy they give that other girl and
Yep.
her Chelsea best friends, Auntie Chelsea.
Right.
Like, I can't be them. But I'm glad those two still married. I didn't know they filmed the show like a year in advance.
Oh, Amy and Johnny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cute that they're still together. I'm glad somebody lasted. Because
Right.
for some reason, when they first had the people up there, I thought that Clay and Chelsea got back together. But that other girl, you know, the ones that became best friends, I forgot her name, and that dude, the teacher or the principal.
Oh, Kenneth and Brittany.
Yeah, I thought that was cute that they did that, but to me, she was all up on him.
She was like to the point that before they were saying stuff, I was like, wait, did they get back together? Because she was touching him a lot.
Mhm. That's what I was like. I was like, wait, maybe she want him back, and he's just like, yeah, we good friends.
I I feel like them not discussing Brittany and Kenneth more was a missed opportunity. I
I
hated I hated the way they did the relationships on this season though. Like I saw online, I think Jess did an interview about the episode where Kenneth and Brittany broke up and
mhm.
said like because people were like, oh, Kenneth seemed like so uninterested, like he didn't give a freak. She was like bawling her eyes out. He was just like, all right, give me a hug, and then like on his way.
Mhm.
But Jess did an interview and said that they had basically had ongoing conversations since their little honeymoon thing and had already had a breakup conversation and producers made them redo it for the cameras basically. And so at that point he was kind of over it, which I get. But it was like they literally had that breakup scene and then that was it. Like you literally don't see them again. Same thing
Mhm.
on like Chelsea and Jimmy. After their little date thing, when they sat at the table, he's like, nope. And she's like, so you're set on that? He's like, no, I'm not going to the altar. That was like it. Like that was it. And
Yeah.
I hate that they didn't explore that, like what happened after that more on the reunion or
Mhm.
on the show.
Yeah, I agree too. I don't like how they did the reunion. To me, I thought it was going to be more like. Have you ever seen Love and Hip Hop?
Yeah.
So you know the way they do their reunion show where they kind of summarize the couple and show like the
Hmm.
summary or the recap of their storyline or whatever.
Hmm.
I feel like Love is Blind should have done that and then kind of touch base on those things. Cause I just feel like it, especially with those other Love is Blind people, they shouldn't have been up there at all.
I think it was cute to incorporate them, but I felt like we talked about them a little bit too much.
Hmm. And I was like sitting here fast forwarding, like I don't care about them. I didn't see their season.
Some of those people I didn't remember. Like I've been watching it for a while, so I knew who most of them were, but I did not remember some of them. But I feel like some of that time we spent on trying to get like their life updates, we care more about the current cast than
Hmm.
like what they got on because Love is Blind does their season, they do their reunion, and then they do something called After the Altar. So they film it like I want to say about a year out from like the actual wedding days, and they like track everybody. You see what everybody's up to, if they dating somebody new, if they still married, like what life is like. Um, so those people that were sitting up there, they already had their After the Altar. So I don't really care what you got going on today. If that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I just feel like it's cute to incorporate them, like how they had them asking some questions and stuff. Like that part is fine, but I feel like we should have focused less on their what they got going on and more on the current cast.
I agree with you. I mean, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, when they just put them all there together, but I ain't gonna lie, I was fast forwarding them.
I fast forwarded through the whole the episode before the reunion, like the wedding episode.
Hmm.
After AD and Clay's little thing, he said no. She did her thing, and they like after his parents' conversation. I think it was like one of the last scenes of their stuff when it was like the prep for like Amy and Johnny, I fast forward through all that, John. I
I
just want to see them at the altar.
I did the
Dating.
same thing. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't finish it. After the AD and Oakley storyline finished, I was like, I'm out.